Thank you, Com Clarence. And once again, good evening to everybody and welcome to Limitless Talks by JCI Manila. I am glad that everybody has spent time tonight to learn so many exciting topics and in just 10 minutes each. It's quite a thrill tonight. Now, I'd like to thank again JCI Manila for opening this opportunity to all of us. And for all the JCI chapters who are here tonight, welcome. And for the non JCI participants, we are glad that you're able to join us here with us today. Now, what does, our JCI Manila president has to say? Now, let's listen to his opening remarks.
We invite Press Rich to do the opening remarks.
Sorry about that. I think we got it that mixed up. I think Press Rich will be doing the closing remarks, uh, and just to get on with the opening remarks, I'll share the words from in behalf of our 2021 EVP JR Francisco. Again, we would like to thank everyone for being here. We have different friends from all sister chapters and JCI chapters around the Philippines. We are appreciative. We'd like to commend the team behind Limitless Talks, headed by, of course, no less than Commissioner Taren Santos. We are looking forward for season one, I should say, of Limitless Talks, and everyone's excited. I hope you guys prepared your box of popcorn and enjoy the rest of the night. And let's do this. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Direct AD and Padiernos. And yes, we are all looking forward to tonight's session. And thank you for hyping up Limitless Talks on its first season starting tonight. Now, what is Limitless Talks? Let's hear from Commissioner Clarence and Commissioner Willie and let's learn more about that. Take it away, Clarence, Willie.
Uh, there. I hope everybody can see me now. There. Ayan. So I'll do this. It was supposed to be a pre-recorded video, but I wanted to take the pleasure na lang to explain what Limitless Talks is live, no? So I just want to share a bit of how we conceptualize Limitless Talks. Um, so how everybody sees the training culture in JCI, no, parang we're all boxed in the idea na when you hear the word training, it's all those foundational courses, the JCI official courses, or something that's always serious. Um, but then again, we take a deeper look into things, and we see topics that don't get that opportunity to have like its own talk, to have its own, let's say, GMM, to have its own 3 hour long program. So that's where we conceptualize Limitless Talks, wherein we allow everyone in the JCI community to share something that they're passionate about, something that they're an expert about, something that they really want to share to the people, and to give them the platform to speak for 10 minutes. Parang, di ba nga, it's something, it was a question asked to me before. If you were to speak um, endlessly on one topic, what would it be? And personally, I have a lot of answers to that. I can speak for 10 minutes regarding photography, 10 minutes, let's say, on my board game addiction, or let's say 10 minutes on my passion for cycling and my stories about cycling. And looking at it, when is the best opportunity for me to have the stage and just talk about it? So that's where we created the Limitless Talks. So everybody gets 10 minutes to just speak and share something that they're passionate about. Uh, you know, a few days back, while we were promoting the program, we received so many feedback, like, meron palang K-pop fan sa JCI Manila. Meron palang Formula 1 fan sa JCI Manila. Meron palang Overwatch player in JCI Manila. And nobody knew of these things prior to Limitless Talks. And it is a great platform. And this one is something that's kumbaga relatively new. This was this happened this afternoon, no. Um I really want to commend Commissioner Harold Labugan because he posted his Limitless Talks poster, and that weeded out so many Formula One fans of JCI Manila, and now there will be an interest group or parang a JCI Manila Formula One Club, and we will now be regularly hosting watch parties because we know na there are already many people who share the same passion. So that's the same idea that we wanted to do with Limitless Talks, is that you talk about something and we eventually find people uh, who will share the same passion with you, and that not only builds you up in your hobby or in whatever interest, but that creates stronger camaraderie between us brothers. So tonight there will be five speakers. um, and we made it into a format wherein we don't only activate regular JCI Manila members. Within the five speakers, there will be three regular members, one baby JC. So as early as in the application stage, they get familiarized with the JCI Manila culture, and they get to know some of the members already. And of course, we will also be including our senators and associates so that everybody has a place for Limitless Talk. So that's basically it, and I hope everybody enjoys the night. So yeah, thank you all for attending. There will be more of these Limitless Talks in the coming months, so please stay posted. Back to you, Veeps.
Thank you, Com. Let's give Com Clarence a warm round of applause, a virtual round of applause, if you may. I like what you said. There is always a place for everybody here in Limitless Talks. Again, you have the babies, you have the members, you have the senators, you have a mix of everybody, and you get to network with different people of different interests, and you'll be able to have more and stronger networks and a sense of camaraderie with each other. I like that. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Com Clarence. And for tonight, as Com Clarence did mention, we do have some criteria that would allow the speakers to shine even brighter as they go along and speak about their own passions and along their own topics. Now, the criteria for judging are as follows: adherence to the time limit, that is for 10 points. Stage presence is 10 points. Performance is 15 points. Creativity, oh, this is very interesting, 5 points. And effectiveness of talk is 10 points for a total of 50 points. Now, let's get on with our Limitless Talks tonight. And I'd like to introduce our guest judge today.
Hi,
He
Veep.
is 2020
Excuse me,
JCI
Veep.
Manila Director for, yes?
Hi, Veep. Sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. I just wanted to before we start the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Just for proper protocol, I wanted to acknowledge our guests for tonight. Just quickly, sorry guys.
Yes, go
JCI
ahead, Greg. Thank
protocol.
you. Yes.
So I begin with our 2021 JCI Philippines NEVP John Glenn Lee. Thank you, NEVP, for being here. We appreciate it. Of course, our JCI Marikina Marikit President, Pres Mona Ignacio Coelho. Hi, Pres. JCI Makahalar 24K Mika Mora. JCI Legazpi Dawani President Leia Buenaventura. 2018 JCI Manila President, JCI Senator Attorney Joaquin Esquivias. And Senator William Ong. Also, I wanted to acknowledge the presence of ASDD Janet Oy, who's here amongst many of our guests tonight. Again, thank you for joining us in our first ever, the first season of Limitless Talks. So VP Seset, apologize. Apologies for the interruption, but yes, you may proceed now. Thank you.
Greg, thank you very much. I'm Glad to know that we have a lot of very special guests tonight. And again, welcome to Limitless Talks, its first season at that. Now, to continue with our program for tonight, again, I'd like to introduce our judge for this evening. He is the 2020 JCI Manila Director for Local Organization Management and 2020 JCI Most Outstanding Trainer in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please help give me a sorry. I'm quite excited with everything that's happening tonight. Let's give a virtual round of applause for Direct Ramon King the Third. All right. Now to get on our first speaker for tonight, he has been a JCI Manila member since 2020. He is a videographer by profession and also a model. Ooh. His limitless talk will be the overpowered secret in esports, sharing his experiences, joining competitive esports leagues. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Rafael Freiland. A virtual round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Raf, and I want to share with all of you a secret. So, for some of you, this secret may be common sense, but for others, like me, it's the ultimate life changer. You see, a few years back, every night after work, my friends and I would always go online to play Overwatch. Now, Overwatch, for those of you who don't know, is a first person shooter game played in the PC, similar to that of Counter Strike and Call of Duty. One thing, though, that Overwatch has above the rest of the shooting games is what we call the Holy Trinity, where you have a tank role, a damage role, and a support role. So, tanks are in charge of setting the pace for the team. They're in charge of setting up the damage dealers to their best positions, and they are usually the shot callers for the team. The damage, self explanatory, they deal damage. But they have one more important task. They are in charge of taking care of the supports. The supports are the lifeline of the team, and their main focus is to keep the tanks alive. If the tanks want to push forward or force the action, it's usually the supports that call them out to relax and calm down. So, if one of these roles get eliminated, the entire team structure falls apart. Hence, Holy Trinity. So back in 2020, my team called Overwine joined a local tournament. So Overwine, we're just a group of friends who during the weekends would bring our laptops to one of our friends' condos, bring wine, bring food, and just play Overwatch for fun. So after being so casual, we decided to actually join a tournament. And mind you, this tournament were against pros who would have made it into the scene if they wanted to. So for context, now these aren't our actual rankings, but for simplification, we'll go with this: bronze tier, silver, gold, and platinum. Overwine was a bronze level team, and we were going up against silver and gold tier teams. It was also at this moment that I was thrust into the leadership role, being team captain and playing the tank. Needless to say, we got owned. Throughout the entire round robin stage, we won a total of 0 games. And yet, at the end of it all, we went from 0 wins to champions. And I'll tell you the secret. You see, sometime during that first tournament, when the team was at its most toxic because we were losing left and right, my best friend actually got so demoralized that he bowed out of the team. Soon after, my girlfriend followed suit. Not long after that, I had arguments with one of my support players. You see, leadership was such a foreign concept for me. I was always a solo worker and I excelled at it. I was always my own boss most times. So, coming into this, I had a slight air of arrogance and being know it all. What's worse was that because of all these losses, my insecurities were slowly creeping up to me. And that only amplified my solo mindset. You see, I was under the impression that leadership was basically just these things: showing up no matter what, being first in the room, being last to leave, having high IQ, and being logical. And you know what? I was all that to the best of my degree, but it wasn't effective at all. I was missing one key skill. And you know what? All that I mentioned above was probably just 20% of what it takes to be an effective leader. This one singular skill was the remaining 80%. And that is communication in all its aspects. You see, the entire thing definitely tested my relationship with my friends. It came to a point that I had this heated argument with one of my support players. It was so heated that I actually thought she wouldn't talk to me anymore. And it was all because she had this one trait that I didn't have. She wasn't the best player exactly. She wasn't the best player in the team. She was slower than others in learning new concepts. And she would always stick to her comfort zone. But again, she had this one trait that I sorely lacked as a leader. She glued the team together better than I did, and she was able to sense dynamics better than I did. She had what is called EQ. So, trying to be logical, I didn't have time for emotions. For me, it was all about winning, no matter what. I just wanted to win. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. It was all about numbers and results. I was approaching it the selfish way, and she was showing me another way. So while we were dishing out sweeping statements and debating with each other, neither of us giving an inch. Deep inside, I was actually listening, and I actually understood her. You see, the secret isn't just communication, because mind you, I was talking. I was talking a lot, nonstop. Again, the secret is not just communication, but genuine communication, and that includes connecting and listening. Connection is what athletes may call team chemistry. And one thing about team chemistry is that it transcends sports. It's applicable basically to every aspect in life. You name it: business, family, love life, team sports, even JCI projects. I allowed myself to connect and listen. And that in turn allowed me to understand. As I started meaningfully connecting with my teammates, I kid you not, magic happened. Next thing you knew, next thing we knew, we were giving those silver teams a run for their money. Next thing we knew, we were actually beating the gold teams. Next thing we knew, we actually placed third. We, the winners team that everyone wrote off, placed third. So, jumping off from this newfound success, we immediately signed up for another tournament. And this time, with that secret unlocked, we never lost a match. Straight to the finals and straight to being champions. We were on a high. We felt invisible, invincible. It was time to test this new skill to the ultimate tier, a platinum league. Confident from our previous win, we decided to change half of our weaker players with all stars. And Overwine 2.0 were beasts. I had the best players under my command playing all the other roles. The best players, mind you. And guess what? We did not win a single match. In fact, I could even argue that the original Overwine with less skilled players could have beaten Overwine 2.0. And then it dawned on me, our communication just weren't the same. There were resistance from new players, from these all stars. They were all stats and numbers oriented. They prioritized results over growth and connection. You know what? They were exactly like me at the start of the story. And despite such a terrible exit from that last tournament, I still found myself smiling because I knew exactly what the problem was. And it was at that point I fully understood the power of EQ. You see, a group may have the so called best performers in their team, the brightest minds, physically gifted athletes. But if none of them are willing to connect, then can they really call themselves a team? At this level, as impressive as high IQ or irrefutable logic may sound, they actually pale in comparison to the humble EQ. And in my opinion, having great EQ boils down to just one thing: genuine communication. You know, someone once said, sports is a great metaphor for life. And if we were to agree with that, then I can't wait to test this ultimate skill and the hardest game of all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rafael. Let's give him a virtual round of applause. I really, really, really appreciate what you say about genuine communication. Imagine, I myself, I'm not an online game enthusiast, but I'm glad that you're able to get that much wisdom and such knowledge and learnings from esports. Thank you very much for opening that door for me. And I see from the from the chat box that a lot of gentlemen here in the participants are really fans who share the same interest as you. So kudos, you do have make a connection. Thank you again, Rafael. And now for our second speaker, he has been a JCI member since 2020. He is a lawyer, litigator, and consultant by day, and a K-pop fanboy at night. His limitless talk will be the law of K-pop, sharing his experiences of his journey to become a lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm virtual round of applause to attorney Nix Tarukan.
Woo! Go Knicks.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm attorney Nikki Albert Tarukan. So, today I'll be talking about the law of K-pop. So, before I start, let me give you a personal profile about myself first. So, my K-pop age is 12. So, that means I've been a K-pop fan for almost 12 years now. And that means I've started on sometime 2009. My current job is a lawyer, of course, and my bias, as you all know, and for the K-pop fans in the chat, uh, it's Kim Chae-won of iZone, and my most played K-pop song on Spotify is "With One" by iZone. If you know the girl group, then feel free to say it in the comments. But if not, then you better search it now. So songs downloaded, it's so many that I almost forgot how many I've downloaded in my 12 years of being a fan. But it was all worth it. The hard disk space was all worth it. So my favorite group, as I've said earlier, it's iZone. So first things first, how did I get into K-pop? So apparently, I'm not. I was not a K-pop fan at first. My sister was. So she was a fan of a boy group called Shiny. If someone in the comments know about this boy group, you can make it known. And apparently, I was scanning in her YouTube history, and I came across this particular girl group. So yan. This was the girl group that I was first introduced to. So it might seem too cliche because, as we all know, there's Sandara Park. Alam naman natin na si Sandara Park she's a Filipino. So alam naman natin na lahat talaga ng Filipino inclined talaga na to anyone magsimula if you're starting. But of course, this only piqued my interest. It did not really immerse me in K-pop as a whole. Months later, while watching on the television, I stumbled across this particular girl group. So, yung mga oldies na fans dyan, yung mga medyo matatanda na katulad ko, If you know this, or if you notice this, if you remember this, this is the opening scene of the music video of the song "Tell Me Your Wish" by Girls' Generation. So after I listened to this song, the rest was, history. Then before we delve into the K-pop itself, I would like to give you a sort of a K-pop primer. So as you all know, K-pop groups are divided into boy groups and girl groups and soloists. So for the boy groups, on the upper left, if our sisters or anybody present know, they're the group you call BTS. So sila yung pinakasikat na boy group ngayon. And of course, yung nasa baba, girl group, that's iZone. The one that I mentioned earlier. So when girl groups make a certain song or they release a specific album, yung concept nila, it always revolves around three concepts. So first is girl crush. Girl crush is characterized by dark outfits and dark concepts and powerful moves. Whereas opposed to bubblegum concepts, it's characterized by the white collar and then syempre more on like bubbly sila and summery yung tune niya. And of course, we have the ballad where the girl group members are wearing dresses, and this is more on the emotional side of the song, and it's more of like a slow type of song. So from the word itself, ballad. So after the genre or after the concept of the songs, syempre we'll tackle naman yung composition. So first things first, syempre yung leader ng group. This person is usually the person who has the most training experience. Sila yung nag-training na matagal and sila yung nag-lead ng group. And then second, of course, is yung main vocalist. Syempre, as the name suggests, they are in charge of the vocals of the group. And then, it's main dancer. Yung dancer naman, as the name itself then, it's supposed to embody the dancing prowess of the group. Pag sa dance breaks, sa music videos, sila yung palaging nandoon. And then, of course, after ng main dancer, meron din tayong main rapper. If you're a K-pop fan, then marirecognize nyo there are in some parts of a musical video or in some parts of a song, merong mga parts doon na parang medyo dumadagundong, and that's where the main rapper comes. So next is the center or face of the group. As the name itself suggests then, it's center, meaning sila yung lagi nakafocus sa group. So pag meron kayo nakikita na nasa music video or nasa mga interviews, and then sila yung laging pinafocus na media, they are usually the center or the face of the group. Sila yung nagdadala ng buong group. And then lastly, visual. Visual, ibig sabihin nito is syempre yung pinakamaganda. A little bit of trivia about this. If you, in case you didn't know, this person is Beju Yun. She's a member of a girl group called Red Velvet, and apparently she's been numbered so many times by Korean outlets as the most beautiful person alive in Korea. So ayun lang, if you're interested, just search her name. So ayun nga, siguro kung meron kayong mga K-pop fans na mga friends, they would always say na para, pare, sinong bias mo? Yun. Bias simply means that the person within the boy or girl group who piques your interest the most. So, kung sino yung nakikita mo agad pag nakinig ka ng K-pop music, kung sino yung makikita mo agad sa mga K-pop music videos, that is usually, or that person is usually your bias. So, second is, why do I like K-pop? So, this is where it gets interesting, because for me, Koreans are the persons with the best work ethic. For me, this is for me though, because I've witnessed so many times how K-pop artists usually put their heart and soul into their craft and to their dancing, especially yung mga music na nag-release sila. So first, it is through their work ethic. And then second is value of people. When you watch K-pop, when you watch promotions, when you watch music shows, when they win, when they win music awards, you'll instantly recognize that these K-pop artists value their fans more than anyone. Usually, sila yung una na babatiin nila bago talaga nila batiin yung mga ibang tao because they're basically the persons who put them there, and to be able to recognize yung value ng mga taong yun, that says a lot about them. And lastly, it's the room to grow because mistakes often come in K-pop, and as we all know, music industry in general, mistakes often come and go. But these people in K-pop, they always are quick to acknowledge their mistakes and apologize about them, and that's what makes them. I think that's what makes them. What sets them apart from the rest. So here it goes. Law school, the bar, and of course, K-pop. So what is the relation? So how did K-pop help me in law school and the bar? So first, syempre it reinforced my study ethics. Syempre, knowing na parang these people debut at a certain time and they put so much of their time and effort into dancing, singing, and then crafting their expertise, na-encourage din ako na baguhin yung study ethics ko and i-pattern din doon sa ginagawa nila. Actually, I also isolated myself because K-pop artists, before they debut, they tend to isolate themselves from the world, and then magugulat ka na lang na parang, boom, nag-debut sila. So that's what I did, and it worked for me. Second is that it lightened my mood and eased my frustration. Syempre, when you study, mahirap mag-aral ng sobrang frustrated ka, hindi mo na alam yung gagawin mo. Minsan nagkakaroon ka ng mental block. Pag nakapakinig ako ng music, pag nakapakinig ako ng K-pop music, it always sets my mood, parang mas lalo akong ginaganahan mag-aral. And of course, syempre, pag naayos mo yung study habits mo and then nawala na yung lahat ng mga frustrations mo, yung emotional na stress mo, syempre makaka-focus ka na. You'll be motivated, and then you'll be motivated to study more, and then focus ka na sa goal mo, which is, of course, for every law student, it is passing the bar. So, apart from that, syempre, it lifted my spirit and moral. As in talagang yung altruistic feeling ng pakikinig ng K-pop. That's what always matters to me. Kasi yun talaga yung habol mo eh. Yung parang feeling na parang heal ka. Healing kumbaga. So, ayun, it lifted my spirit and moral. Syempre, literally. I always watch music videos like this. So, syempre, kung ikaw naman sobrang fan ka, like ikaw, if you're a boy and then you see this particular person tapos smiling on the camera, then hindi ka ba gaganahan mag-aral niyan? So from this, I went from this on a study slump to this. And of course, the bar followed, and then I passed. And then this was a screenshot of my speech, mandatory bar passing speech. And then lahat ng mga taong nakakilala sa akin know na I always leave subtle references to K-pop on my posts. So ayun, nakita nyo yan nasa baba. It says Labian Rose, and then Korean language, and then Korean language ulit yan. But Labian Rose is basically the first song released by iZone, which was my favorite group, as I explained earlier. So the things that I learned in my journey through K-pop. So first is that everyone can listen to it. The K-pop fandom is very diversified. Mahirap sabihin na parang, oh, you're young, you can listen to K-pop just because you're young. No, because ako apparently I'm a professional and a lawyer at that. Pero ako nakikinig ako ng K-pop, and I'm proud of it. So you can literally see every persons on the platform, iba't iba, older than you, younger than you, even professionals or other occupations. it's super diversified. Second is that you don't just listen to it, you feel it. It's not just the song and the artist. Kasi you always take into consideration the soul and effort they put in making it. Because pag nanonood ka ng music video, mafe-feel mo talaga yung fact na pinaghirapan to ng mga artists nyo. And whenever you see them win on music programs with that music, it makes you say na parang, uy, pinanood ko yan. Uy, alam ko na pinaghirapan niya yan. So, lastly, syempre, it can help you, of course. And by sharing it, you help other people too. I've seen so many people na sinasabi nung una. Kasi I was just, parang sobrang loner ako na K-pop fan dati. And I've had so many setbacks trying to relate to other people my interest. And then, ulit-ulit ko lang silang kino-convince na parang, oh, K-pop, okay tong K-pop, listen to this, ganyan-ganyan. O, asa na sila ngayon? They are diehard fans. Marami na rin silang na-recruit ng mga tao na katulad nila na medyo adamant din makinig ng K-pop at first, but eventually, they listen. So thank you for listening to my talk, and that is all for Law of K-pop.
Wow, thank you very much, Attorney Nix. Or in Korean, tama, I hope I say this right. Kamsahamnida. Did I say it right? I hope I said it
Yeah.
right. I hope I said it right. Now, I realize now that music does not only soothe the soul, does not only energize your spirit, but it also helps you pass the bar. That's another thing. That's another way to look at K-pop. And I agree with LSDD of JCI Cebu Sinulog. It's the ultimate K-pop 101. So for those who are very interested in K-pop, I see a lot of you can relate in the chat box. For those of you who are just learning about K-pop, that is basically what K-pop is all about. Again, thank you, Attorney Nix, for that one. And now our third speaker is a JCI Manila baby JC. His limitless talk will be I Am Gundam, sharing his passion for collecting Gunpia. Hope I said it right. Gunpia or Gunpia scale models. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Sanjay Laruskayin. Warm virtual round of applause, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and I'm really excited passion for collecting Gunpla. My topic for tonight, I am Gundam. It stands for I am going under new dimensions of adaptive metamorphosis. I'll explain that later. Okay, so a little bit about myself.
Oh no, what's happening with the internet? We'd like to interrupt the program for a bit. I think our speaker is just in experiencing some technical difficulties with his internet. Um, yeah. So, Sanjay, are you still here with us? Yeah, he's reconnecting.
Hello, sorry for the technicality. Can I start again?
Yeah, sure. Thank you,
Okay.
Sanjay. Share screen again. Timer, please reset. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm very excited to share with you my passion with Gundams and Gundam plastic models. My title for tonight is I Am Gundam. It stands for I Am Going Under New Dimensions of Adaptive Metamorphosis. I'll explain that later, what it's all about. So a little bit about myself. This is me 30 kilos ago. I'm an electronics engineer by profession, and I used to design microchips that were being used by the NASA and US Department of Defense. Right now, I'm venturing into the healthcare and beauty business as well as a trading business. And I'm also helping my dad with his organic farm back in Iloilo. So right now, I'm a baby JC from batch 2, and I'm currently serving as the chairman for special projects in Project Renew 2.0. It's all about upcycling the plastics into really cool and awesome community building materials. Please support us. I'm really crazy about a lot of things, but nothing can match my passion for Gundam. So let's start. These are the things that I hope to share with you. Na even though if you're not interested with Gundam, I hope na maging interested kayo. But more than that, I would like to share with you some insight and things that I learned while doing my hobby. Okay, so it is not just a robot. We all most of I was taught to refer to Gundams as a mobile suit. So ano yun? Suit for mobility. Okay? So it's
Hindi.
the same issue as calling
Favorite lang mga sneakers, sabi mo, good job.
it's the same issue as not calling anime as
Wow!
cartoons.
Let's
Okay?
go.
Now it's a very enjoyable franchise, although a bit complex. But don't worry, wherever you enter, you can appreciate it. The interesting thing about the Gundams is that recurring ang theme siya. It's yes, there's war, there's mecha stuff, but it always boils down to human evolution, transcendence. Developing your humanity, and there's a physical and social and political dimensions to it. So it's really malalim. Okay, now in Japan, they're very crazy. They go further into putting some meanings. So naging acronym na siya. And it's really crazy because check this out, no? General Unilateral Neurolink Dispersive Autonomic Maneuver. What does that even mean? My favorite is gigantic unilateral numerous dominating ammunition. So matakot ka na, di ba? Some shows, they name it Gundam because they're using Gundanium alloy, supposedly the strongest material in their universe. So I'm just following the tradition. So for me, I am Gundam, or going under new dimensions of adaptive metamorphosis, is that I am right now currently undergoing some sort of change, a very good change. I'm rebuilding my life, and it's all thanks to my passion in Gundam. So a little bit of backstory. So this is just a set of anime, and it was started by the legendary director Yoshiyuki Tomino. And in 1979, when it was first aired, hindi siya nag-gain ng traction. But they were very smart. Director partnered up with several companies like Bandai, and they actually developed merchandises out of the show to make it, clickable. So, of all the merchandises na na-develop for each show, ang pinaka-pumatok is really the Gundam plastic model kit, or they call it Gunpla. Okay, there are many stories. There's Gundam Wing that introduced or made it really popular in the Philippines and in the Western world. Me personally, I am influenced by Gundam 00, and later you will find out why. So I first had my Gunpla when I was gifted by. It was a gift from my brother. I can't afford any toy back then. It was a gift by my brother, and when I first tried building it, nagulat ako kasi even though I don't read Japanese, I can understand Japanese language. Nagawa ko. So, and my first impression was sobrang pulido, as in pinag-isipan. And since then, naging addict na ako. And then I told myself, pag nagkapera ako, I will really buy a lot of these things. So, these are some of my collections. I have a lot. And, these are just in Manila. Wala pa yung nasa Iloilo. So, the first kind of gunpla is high grade. This is your introduction to gunpla. It's really basic, but the quality is really nice. Bandai introduced a new set of toys. We call it real grade. Now they're introducing a sort of inner frame. In lay terms, it's like a skeletal system. Tapos there are a lot of unboxed collection in my right now. Kasi they're very rare. Okay. So these are the master grades. Mas malaki siya and more details. Another rare collection. I also collect expansion kits to make my collection stand out. And there's also the metal grade. So imagine gunpla siya, pero nag-evolve ang material. These are metals. And these are very valuable. Their price increase over time talaga. I also collect scraps because I, modify some of my collection. And these are some of my weird collections. No? So this is the smallest gunpla I've ever had. I pulled it out from the ballpen na Gundam. Everyone's dream is to have a perfect grade Gundam. Imagine this is the biggest model available, and there's so many details. There's so many gimmicks. I'll show you how it works. Yan. So for us geeks, sobrang ano yun, cool. Milaw, grabe, parang ganun. Now, this is my most valuable collection. It's a metal structure. So imagine a perfect grade gunpla na metal. So this is very rare. There's only a few units of this released, and I was lucky to have acquired it at a very cheap price. So, ang gunpla ba panlalaki lang? No. Mayroon na pong cute na mga gunpla ngayon that women can relate to. In fact, there are a lot of female modelers doing it right now. It makes everyone excited. So, because of this passion, it influenced how I collect stuff. So, I have a lot of Gundam-themed accessories and items. My latest acquisition this year is this Gundam edition ng isang gaming laptop. It's gifted to me by my supplier of laptops that I helped land at 50 million build sa Paranaque LGU. So this is she gave me like 5 units of this. So I'm using this laptop in this in this presentation right now. And my dream is to collect an Asus ROG Gundam setup. I attend a lot of Gundam events and Gundam themed establishments. Even my proposal to my girlfriend, it's also Gundam related, and my wedding. Eventually, my wife got pregnant. This is a new Gundam. It holds yung confirmation na nabuntis siya. And it's new Gundam because the healthcare product that I'm carrying starts with the new. So I'm just glad that it's so related. So while my wife is pregnant, I actually forced her to watch 2 seasons of Gundam 00. So it made her realize that the name Exia, which is a Gundam, is very cool. So wala nang ano, hindi na siya nagreklamo. Hence, when my son was born, I named him Jeremy Exia. So this is the meaning. It's a Greek term for power, and because I really want my son to be powerful. So unfortunately, in the perfect package, we discovered later na my son is actually my bipedal club fit siya. So as young as 2 weeks, we had to cast him para makorek yung fit niya. I was really afraid because I thought back then naming him Exia was a curse because in the anime, Exia went through several transformation kasi nasisira siya. So baka masira siya, natatakot ako. Buti na lang ang ending ni Exia, awesome unit, awesome na Gundam. So after several casting and surgery, he improved. He's still under rehabilitation right now. If there's a chance to celebrate, it's always Gundam related. And this is how he is right now. I love my son so much. After 2 years, when he turned 2, nag-evolve yung mukha niya, parang Gundam. So it gives me hope para sa salinlahi ko. So ibang-iba na siya ngayon. So parang walang nangyari. And unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. So there was a time na I actually lost my wife. So it really destroyed me. Parang pinasabog ako na Gundam. And to the point na magko-commit ako ng suicide. But thank God to several support system, to several therapy, and and reminding myself that I have a son, I decided to fight back to rebuild myself like a gunpla. And now I'm dedicating my life to my son. So I spend a lot of time with my son. In fact, he can already identify and relate to several Gundams. Pag nag-drawing ako ng robot, Gundam! Ganun siya ng Gundam. So my wish and my dream right now is to witness my son's growth from a baby gunpla to a perfect grade unit. So some of the lessons I learned while doing this hobby, first, doing things properly. Okay, when you make this gunpla, when you do this, when you make a model kit, when you assemble them, you're required to really prepare, use the right tools, follow the instructions. Because when you don't do that and you come up with a finished product, you will literally see or notice yung mga imperfections. It was designed perfectly. So for me, how I operate now, I try my best to really do things properly. Although perfection is good, ang bottom line pa rin while we're trying to improve is to build relationship with each other. Before, I'm afraid to share my collections with my son kasi baka masira or mawala ng parts. But right now, I let him be. Ang importante, he's very happy and lumaki siya na super relate siya sa Gundams. Third, Gunpla is an asset pala. I thought I'm wasting money on my collection. The truth is, nung nawalan ako ng pera, it's easy to convert them to cash because yung value nila hindi na bumababa. Promise, okay? There's a way to make them still valuable and relevant. And for some reason, it saved me a lot of times. So it's like collecting precious jewelries. And of course, no, while doing this, I am reminded to be a dreamer, to stay passionate, and I'm also reminded that whatever happens, I can be rebuilt. Lastly, I get to appreciate God more because for me, parang siya yung pinaka-ultimate modeler na nung nawasak ako, nasira, at hindi ko ma-rebuild sarili ko, there's always someone up there who can actually rebuild me. So thank God for this. And so what's next for me? I'd like to travel. After this pandemic, I am working so hard and saving so much para makita ang life-size Gundam. In Yokohama, for example, the Gundam there is already moving. So I'm so excited. I want to bring my son there. In China, they're also building their own Gundam. And, in to end, I just want to say now, it changed my life because I believe that we're all perfect. But at the same time, we are a work in progress. We can rebuild ourselves towards perfection the way we are designed. So this is my message to you and my son. We are Okay, so that's my talk, and I hope you guys appreciate it. And just like any passion, sharing is everything. So for this show, I don't know how the host will do it, but I am actually sharing this limited edition Gundam Olympics na version kasi hindi natuloy in Tokyo. And for the women, the ladies, if you're interested to build, there's Hello Kitty version for you. Thank you so much for listening.
All right. Wow. Thank you, Sonjay. Grabe, I really love the line from baby gunpla you start and you rebuild until you become perfect grade. Grabe. Amazing. Um, for the giveaway, that's very generous of you, Sonjay. No, we will have a raffle siguro at the end of this program. So two raffle draws. Committee, can you list down, please? And we'll have a raffle for the guys and a raffle for the girls. No, for the two donated model kits coming from Sonjay. All right. Um, so I'll just cover for EVP Sese just for this time. I'll be introducing the next speaker for tonight. Um, and yeah, this is just to share. This is something that's close to me. Harold was my first pick. No, when I was sourcing for speakers for tonight. Because we share the same passion for Formula One racing, and so Harold is an ECE by profession, but he made this turn in life when he went to the world of being a financial advisor. He's been with JCI Manila for a few years now, and tonight he'll be talking about his life as a race marshal with his talk entitled "Behind the Scenes: The Frontliners of Formula One." Harold, take it away.
Hi, Clarence. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for that introduction. So, it's been a year since the pandemic started, and I think the situation is definitely taking a toll on everyone's well-being. But personally, what got me through that was watching sports, and it's been a great way for me to cope personally for stress and anxiety. So for the next 10 minutes or so, I'd be giving you a sneak peek into a sport that I personally love, I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with Formula One. So if you are, please raise your hand. No? So, but what I'm going to tell you is a perspective that maybe it's not noticeable for everyone else. No? Hello again. My name is Harold. I've been a JCI Manila member since 2018. I'm an ECE engineer turned finance professional, no, and true blue volunteer, if I'd say so myself. But if there's one thing that you need to know about me, is that next slide, please. Is that I'm a massive Formula One fan. So I'm not sure if you know the guys behind, but those are the drivers, the technical directors, so the ones calling the shots. And yeah, how can I say that I'm a massive Formula One fan? No? Uh, it's because I'm the only Filipino based in the Philippines who regularly fly out to Formula One events to participate as a race marshal. So, next slide, please. So as you can see, this was from last 2019 in Australia. So I'm the only Filipino flying out from the Philippines to volunteer. So yeah, I guess next slide. So with that, welcome to my Limitless talk. And let me take you behind the scenes as a frontliner of Formula One. Formula One. All right. So siguro, please play the montage. So for those who are not familiar with Formula One, it's basically sports. So you have athletes, but instead of just their bodies, they're using motor vehicles. So it's the pinnacle of motorsport. It's sanctioned by the FIA, or in English, it's the International Automobile Federation, right? And yeah, it's basically you you collect the best of the best drivers from all over the world. You put them into these most technologically advanced, cutting-edge single-seater open-wheel race cars designed by the brightest engineers, and they only have one thing in mind when they design these machines. So it's speed. So it's a roving circus. They stage around 20 races every year all around the world. And yeah, we call as fans we call them as Grand Prix. So a season usually starts from March until November. So definitely it's entertaining, no. But make no mistake, though it's fancy to watch, motorsport is inherently dangerous. So the danger is not only to the drivers, but also to the spectators, the fans watching on track, and also the marshals. So just like in public roads, an accident can gravely injure anyone who's involved, or worse, death may happen. So yeah, definitely through the years, the technology of the car safety side has been progressing very well. But there's another side of it that ensures everyone gets to enjoy the races smoothly and enjoy the spectacle side of things. So next slide, please. So these are the track marshals. So this is a picture of how many marshals go into staging one race. So this was way back 2017 in Australia. So plus points, sayang, if you could see the Philippine flag and where I am. But yeah, it's such a massive undertaking. No? So yeah, these are the frontliners. We're basically the small cogs of the giant machinery called Formula One. And bakit ganyan kadami? Why does it take so many people to host a race? Next slide, please. So just to give you an idea, no? Let's take Singapore, for example. I guess a lot of you guys have been to Singapore. So the racetrack there is at Marina Bay Street Circuit. It's called Marina Bay Street Circuit. So the race happens in the middle of the city. So a lap distance would run around 5 kilometers. There's a lot of corners. There's 23 of it. And for the main straight, it's about half a kilometer long. All right. So next slide, please. So you can see how big the venue is. And what we basically need to prepare for are these. So we need to cover for incidents with cars. We need to cover for spectators who will be roaming inside the tracks because that's very dangerous. No? And yeah, next slide, please. So what do we do as marshals? Basically 4 points. We keep the racetrack safe, we keep the area safe, we keep the people around us safe, and last but not the least, it's the most important one, is we keep ourselves safe. So, right? Bakit? The last, because why is that the most important thing? No? Because while we are there to ensure everyone enjoys the race smoothly, the last thing that we really want to do as marshals would be to risk ourselves and then use the limited resources around us just because we were careless, no? And add to that that we're broadcasted live all over the world. A lot of spectators watch Formula One. Next slide, please. This is the last thing that we want to do. This is an actual accident that happened last 2011 in Canada. So could you play the video? So as you can see, it's a safety car period, and then a marshal is going to pick up something, and then he tripped. And there's a lot of still fast cars. Make no mistake, they're slowing down at this rate, but the danger is really real. So next slide, please. So just to see how fast this is, I said the main street in Singapore was half a kilometer long. Could you imagine these cars coming at you at full speed? How many seconds it takes to reach your point? So that's why we always need to be aware of our surroundings and keep ourselves safe. Because with times nowadays, you don't want to be the next overnight celebrity. So next slide, please. Because there's a lot of people memeing. Next thing you know, you're a celebrity, all right? So yeah, how do we do these things in quick succession and very efficiently? Next slide. So we operate basically using a hierarchy, and we follow very strict protocols. So we have race control, that's the brain of the operation, and they communicate to the hands and feet of the operation, which is us marshals, and we have specialized teams. So next. So this is race control. They basically oversee the whole event. They have lots of control of the CCTVs around the circuit, and when they are the decision makers basically. So next slide. So next thing that you need to do, is when things go bad in racing, it can get really, really bad. And that's why we need specialized teams like vehicle recovery, firefighting crews, and medical teams. So let me show you an example from last year. Next slide, please. Could you play the video? So this was the first lap. It's 136 miles per hour. That's 220 kilometers per hour.
It was in the middle of the car. That's extraordinary.
And imagine standing by the side,
gone through the barrier.
Watching that face to face. So for that incident, it took 28 whole seconds of the driver being engulfed in flames. That's 67 Gs, like LSDD said, no? And that's a lot of force to take. And thankfully for this incident, if all the marshals do their part, we see this kind of success where the driver can get out safely, healthy as well. So next slide. All right. So, okay. So basically about 10 minutes now. No? But just quickly, what do I do as a race marshal? So this is a race marshal post. The ones in front, those are the track marshals. We're the ones who go out to the track. You can see behind the cage, there are people waving flags. So those are flag marshals. And then behind them, we have people communicating with the radios. So those are uh, they communicate with race control to notify us when the cars are approaching our side of the track. All right. So yeah, why do we need to operate in such an efficient way? No, basically, the faster we clear a site, the faster the racing can go on, and of course, every second counts to save a life of a driver or a spectator. So how do we do that? We communicate. We need to communicate efficiently, so we have hand signs. So like we need help, like we need medical assistance. We point out to a fire incident, or we need like a flat toe or a lift toe to recover a vehicle. Aside from that, there's only so much things we can do for our own safety, and that's where the uniform comes in. So we need to wear high visibility overalls. Like we also need to wear gloves, because if you don't have hand protection and you touch these cars and they're very hot, you get injured yourself. Okay. We also need to prepare sunblock and uh, raincoats to protect ourselves from the heat and rain, because it's a rain or shine event, and it's going to take a toll on your body if you don't protect yourself. And also, we have whistles, and we have working glasses, because we need to protect our eyes as well. All right, so next slide, please. And the flags, basically, we have control of the blue and yellow flags. These are to notify the drivers if there's an incident, because otherwise they'd be going flat out. Right? Some of these flags are basically sporting regulations. So yeah, next slide, please. So we basically enforce rules, and also the safety aspect to keep everyone safe. No? So you might say, it's so boring, puro safety, puro safety. But yeah, I guess it might all seem like serious stuff, but in reality, all of us volunteers, we're all just big fans wherever we came from, or whichever part of the world. We're there for the same goal. No? It's basically to host an international event and make everyone happy. So yeah, and I think that's what I've been marshalling no since 2016, and I can't help but notice how similar the volunteering experience in Formula One is to the JCI movement. Next slide, please. Yeah, di ba? In JCI, we we hold we follow protocols, we hold chairmanships, we create projects, we meet lots of like-minded people from different chapters in national and international. And then in the end, we have this grand fellowship to enjoy everyone's company, right? So we're just people with the same interest, who are having fun in the process, right? So as you can see, it takes a gargantuan effort to hold a Formula One race, to keep racing safe, basically. So next slide. So I guess as part of uh, my initiative, personal initiative, is to keep the road safe. So this was from 2017. There's 3,500 people who die on the road every day. So the best we can do is be responsible. If you like to drive, to ride, maybe love racing, please don't text and drive. Please don't drink and drive. If you have friends, don't let them uh, drive if they're drunk. Basically, keep your seatbelts fastened. Wear your helmet if you ride motorcycles. So yeah, basically, yeah, keep keep everyone safe. And yeah, I guess that ends my presentation. Uh, Sorry for going over time, but that ends my presentation. Thank you for listening, everyone, and have a great night.
Thank you very much, Com Harold. Let's give him a round of applause. I really appreciate how you incorporated everything that you learned from, I mean, your experience in Formula One racing volunteerism in terms of everybody having a vital role to play in making the whole system work and having the whole endeavor become successful, and of course driving safely. Thank you very much, Com Harold. And for our last speaker for tonight, we have a two-time JCI Senate Manila Secretary General, a marketing guy, tech guy, family guy, regular guy. He's your guy. His limitless talk will be the great pizza maker in the sky. Sharing this beautiful story, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome JCI Senator Jasper Greek Golanco. Virtual round of applause.
Am I on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Uh, hello, everyone. For those of you who know me, hi there. For those of you who don't, get in line. But seriously, well, sort of. I'm Jasper Lau Gulanco, JCI Senator, and like VP said, a marketing guy, tech guy, family guy, and a regular guy just like you. Okay. Before I go any further, allow me to thank JCI Manila for inviting me to be part of this Limitless talk. Special mention goes to you, Project Chairman Clarence Santos. Chairman, congratulations. And I do hope your inviting me tonight will not cause the end of your promising JCI career. Uh, like I said, I'm just a regular guy, or it depends on how you wish to think about it. I'm just as regular, or maybe just as special as you are, all of you. Each and every one of you, allow me to explain. Okay. Unlike the other guys, I'm sorry, I do not have a slideshow. I do not have a visual presentation. The best visual for what I'm going to talk to you about tonight is going to be there in your self-facing camera. Okay, the best visual for tonight is going to be your own self. Okay, that's partly true, and that's also partly me explaining how lazy I am for not preparing a slideshow. Okay, so it's easy to think or to assume that maybe some people are just blessed with confidence. But then again, of course, too much or too little of that is also not necessarily good. In fact, it would be pretty bad. So how does one get around to that amount to that amount of confidence that is just right? And what do I do to get around to that? This guy, this who's just as regular and special as each and every one of you. Okay, I believe in the great big pizza maker up in the sky. All right, for those of you who saw the posters, I'm sorry, this is not about food. All right, and no, this is not my imaginary Italian genes talking. Okay, what I actually want are African American genes, but that's a totally other conversation that might require alcohol and more than a bit of censorship. Um, but somewhere back in my younger life, I sort of put it together that somewhere up there, God is a great big pizza maker hiding in his pizzeria up in the sky. And he has a cosmic scale with which he measures every pizza he sends down to Earth. These pizzas are, well, people like you and me. Now, I have held on to the faith that each and every one of these pizzas weighs exactly 1 cosmic pound on Big Pizza Guy's cosmic scale. And like every pizza, no two are exactly alike, ever. Okay. So imagine God making pizza, pizza, cheese, mushrooms here, peppers there. Some would have pepperoni, some not. Some might have pineapple. Sorry, Emil. Some not. And everything or everybody gets delivered down to Earth at exactly 1 cosmic pound. So I ask all of you to imagine yourselves as these pizzas that were made by the man up there. And every one weighs exactly 1 whole cosmic pound. Now look at yourself and imagine with some faith that you are this unique pizza. So what are your toppings? Have you taken time and heart to know what you're made of? See what you may have, not have more of, have less of than the other guy. See, for me, that's the real key to appreciating yourself and knowing where to take yourself so you can be appreciated and valued by those around you. It's like if you look at yourself and you're some meat lovers pizza with bacon, pepperoni, sausages, and all that unhealthy fat, but delicious unhealthy fat. And you happen to find yourself in a table full of vegetarians, my golly, run the other way. Because these vegetarians will not even touch you. To them, you are probably poison. You are of no value to them. But surely there are others who love meat. So find them, go there, and you will be loved and consumed. You could probably charge more too. Now, how does this relate to how we deal with other people? Well, while you're in the unending process of trying to know yourself, or in the case of this, this rather tasty metaphor, knowing your own toppings, you should maintain the faith that you are worth a whole pound. And that faith carries over to believing that everyone else is also worth 1 pound, the same pound as you. Okay? So you need to believe in your heart that the manong who delivered your lugaw this afternoon, if you happen to order lugaw, essential daw yan, and the CEO of your company are both worth the same cosmic pound. Maybe you don't know all of Manong Lugaw's talents, abilities, or blessings. But you must believe that God is fair, and that Manong is blessed just as much as your CEO is. I mean, for all you know, feeling mo mas pogi ka kay Manong, but mas malaki ang kanyang sapatos. Diba? But you see, everybody's worth 1 pound. You just don't see or understand how. But you must believe that he is. I'm referring to Manong. And then when you look at him in the eyes, you pick up your order, you respect that belief that he is your equal. Same way that you respect your boss. And that while in the hierarchy of your company, you must follow the boss. You must also believe in your heart that God made you equal to this man or woman, or if he happens to be in between. He or she just happens to be responsible for your paycheck, but you're both worth one same cosmic pound. Okay? So I need to ask all of you to hold on to all of this with not only a grain of salt, but more importantly, with a ton of faith. But if and when you do, I can almost guarantee that it will make you both fearless to face whoever it is in front of you, as well as humble at the same time. And maybe, just maybe, the world might seem like a much, much fairer place. Now, are there exceptions? Well, my wife thinks the big exception is Keanu Reeves, while I think it's Gal Gadot. But I digress. Okay. So, fellow pizzas, may you know what you're made of. May you have faith in what you're worth. May you appreciate what others are worth, and may you find yourself somewhere where you are valued, and whenever possible, help others achieve the same. Thank you for listening. Keep safe, keep healthy, and good night.
Thank you, JCI Senator Jasper, my fellow pizza. You have not made me just hungry for my dinner tonight, but also for a deeper understanding of how I treat my fellow men. Thank you very much, Senator Jasper, for helping us reflect on that. We appreciate it. And yeah, I'm sorry for the non-pineapple toppings lovers, but yeah, personally, I do like pineapples on my pizza. But again, that's a topic for another event. And that wraps up the 5 speakers for the first leg of our Limitless Talks. It has been a pleasure hosting for this event. Again, thank you to the Limitless team of JCI Manila for inviting me. And now I'd like to call on our judge, past Director Ramon King III, to give his comments on the 5 speakers and announce our Limitless Talks Speaker of the Day. PD Ramon King.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, VP Sese, for that kind introduction. It was very interesting. It was a very interesting set of speakers for tonight. But before we go into the commentaries for each of the speakers, I'd like to thank the Board of Directors for the 2021 Board of Directors for inviting me as your judge today. And of course, to Commissioner Clarence Santos for organizing this very interesting and one-of-a-kind event. It gives us, as what he mentioned, it gives us an opportunity to express certain topics that are not usually being discussed in our trainings, in GMMs, and other events. Having said that, I'd like to go on with the remarks for each of the speakers. I won't be announcing the winner yet, but this is not in any particular order. So for the first speaker, Comraf Froilan, I like that he was very confident when he was delivering his speech. He was well prepared, though he wasn't able to make use of visual aids with slides and videos. He compensated for that by having great storytelling. There was a little bit of nervousness every now and then, but the fact that he was very passionate about what he was talking about, you know, the esports, especially Overwatch. I'm into gaming, but I don't know a lot about it. But after hearing his speech, I'm now interested to try it. So I like the parallels that he was able to make, especially when it comes to the application in our lives, especially as leaders, um, especially because we're part of JCI, where we're being developed into young active leaders, or citizens of our nation. So I like that he was able to drive one central point and one very clear message, and that was the importance of communication. And for that, I commend you, Comraf. Thank you so much for your talk, and those are my comments for your speech. The second speaker for Attorney Nix Tarukan, I like that. I like the parallel. I was very interested that he's an attorney, but he was into K-pop, right? It's not. It's something that you don't hear every day. But I was surprised to find out that there's really a lot of people interested in K-pop from different backgrounds. And I like that he used a lot of slides and he was able to explain it very well, like the background of K-pop, the different roles, the different from leader, rapper, center face, and he also touched on the story on how he got into K-pop, making it more relatable to people who might not be interested into K-pop and share this passion behind it. And furthermore, at the end, he was also able to, relate it to his experience in law school, where it was very instrumental to him, passing the bar and making, surviving law school. So for that, it was very good. If there's one area for improvement I'd like to share with you, attorney, is on the time, because there were a little bit, I think about 3 minutes. We went overboard in terms of the time by about 3 minutes, but not that long anyway. So I guess that's it for Attorney Nix. Thank you for the interesting talk. For a third speaker, BJC Sanjay. So he talked about Gundam, the Gunpla. And at first, I was quite interested because, as a kid growing up, I watched Gundam as well. So this was one topic that that I really focused a lot of attention into. But I like the fact that he was very passionate about it and he was smiling all throughout his speech. Okay. It's a combination of making a little bit of jokes and using visual aids as well. But there were certain parts of the slides that had a little bit too much text on my end that it was kind of distracting. But apart from that, the story really the point and drove home the point for this particular speech or talk, because he was able to relate his experience, from being able to force his wife by, I don't know, it was a little bit of mind games on his end, to name his son as Exia by, having his wife watch two sessions of Gundam. But to the point that, sadly, he lost his wife, and still he was able to relate his experience through Gundam, his passion for that, was able to pull him and give him the strength, to stand up again and face the challenges together with his son. So if there's one more thing that I'd like to add, in order to improve the set talk is, I guess it's to use certain pauses for at certain times to emphasize on certain points. But above anything else, it was a very great speech. I was really inspired. I was really moved by your story. And thank you for sharing it with us tonight. For our fourth speaker, Com Harold, I like that I'm really not a fan of F1. When I watch TV, I used to watch TV before I would go through the channels, and when I see it, I just skip the F1 racing. But having listened to your talk, I'm now quite interested to listen to it because you were able to use graphics very well. I like the fact that when you were playing videos, you were describing what was happening, and you were really um, knowledgeable, about the topic. And I like that you were also showed the graph and you emphasized that you were the only Filipino who's volunteering as a race marshal. You also stress on the dangers of being a volunteer, and not just for the racers but also the audience around it watching the event. I guess two things that we can improve on in our next talks, Harold, is I guess in terms of time. I know that you wanted to share a lot of things with the audience, but because of the time constraint that was set by Commissioner Clarence, or very strict commissioner, we just have to be wary of that. And you can also, you tried using jokes every now and then, but I feel like it would have been more relatable if you use your like personal experience, your background, relating and on why you came about this passion and why you're very passionate about it. You can even, I know that you're into insurance. You can even talk about maybe joke about selling insurance during the event because it was a very dangerous sport. Things like that. Just to break the ice. You know, Especially if you have a lot of information that you're trying to share with the audience, it helps to break the ice every now and then. For our last speaker, Senator Jasper Golanco, though he wasn't able to prepare any slides for this particular talk, I really like that he has this very professional voice. I don't know if you were a radio host before, Sen Jasper, but your voice really has this very captivating effect that people would be drawn to listen to it. And I like that you were not rushing yourself in your speech. You were taking your time to build a story. I like that you used a very interesting title. I was really expecting a topic that would revolve around pizzas, but you were able to, you know, um, flawlessly relate that to us, as individuals, and drive that equal footing among everyone, and that in the eyes of God we're all the same. And because of that, we shouldn't be afraid of anyone, but we should also be humble enough to face anyone, because in the end we're all same and equal. And furthermore, I'd like to stress that we have the same set of humor, San Jasper. So I really appreciate your jokes. If there's one thing that we could improve on, probably because we didn't use any visual aids, San Jasper, is to, and I guess this would also apply to the previous speakers, the first four speakers, is that probably because we're not in a physical setting, it's hard to really, you know, um, establish eye contact. But in the case of Zoom sessions such as this, online presentations, it would help if we look straight into the camera to add that effect that we're really talking to our audience, and we can further capture their attention. So that being said, those are my comments for the five speakers. Again, I'm really happy to be part of this event. And with that, I'm going to announce the winner. So it's actually a um, very close call. There's the number one slot only won by 1 point. So out of 50 points, it's only a 1 point differential from the first place to the second place, even to the third place. So you just imagine how tight the fight was in my scorecards. So without further ado, I'd like to congratulate Senator Jasper Gulanco, for being our best speaker for tonight's event. Congratulations, Senator.
Congratulations, as JCI Senator Jasper Golanco. Thank you very much, Director Ramon King. Thank you very much for that. And Sen Jasper, any words that you'd like to say on behalf of your fans, to your fans,
Fans? Alam nyo,
to your fellow pizzas?
pinagbigyan nyo lang yung matanda eh. You know, ano lang to, this is just seniority rules, you know. But thank you, okay? And congratulations to everybody. Everybody I think was very interesting. Everybody is very passionate. And you know, I think everybody who tuned in was able to find something, you know, something that they like to listen to. And we're looking forward to the rest of the speakers coming over, you know, coming over to the next episodes. So congratulations to everybody. VP, wonderful hosting. You look lovely. And thank you, JCI Manila. Thank you, RK. Thank you. And again, thank you for, you know, pinagbigyan nyo yung tito, but you know, what the heck. Thanks. All right.
Thank you, Senator, and congratulations again. And I'd like to acknowledge some of our guests who spent time with us here tonight. We have 2021 JCI Silang Catlea President Bernadette Chua. We also have 2011-2012 JCI Senate Manila President Reginald Yu. We also have 2016 JCI Senate Manila President Johnny Fitalvero. And we also have JCI Senator Richard Estuesta. And of course, we have PLDT Enterprise Category Head Vince Rodriguez. And again, to all our JCI and non-JCI guests, thank you very much for spending time with us here tonight. And I'm sure all of you have questions for all our speakers. Now we have the floor open for any questions or any particular comments, interests that you have. You could address it to anyone. Yes, Clarence.
Before that, I'd like to just invite first our JCI Manila 2021 President, Pres Rich Tamayo, for his closing remarks. So, hold on. Oops. What's happening? There you go.
Our JCI Philippines National Executive Vice President John Glenn Lee, JCI Marikina Marikit President Mona Ignacio Cuelo, JCI Makahalar 24K President Mika Mora, JCI Legazpi Dawani President Lea Benaventura, JCI Catlea President Bernadette Chua, Area 3 Skills Development Director Jeanette Uy, Limitless Talks Commissioner and First Leg Chairman Clarence Santos. Our speakers tonight, JCI Senate Manila Secretary General, JCI Senator Jasper Golanco, Commissioner Harold Labugen, Commissioner Ralph Froilan, Attorney Nikki Tarukan, BBJC Sonjay Laruscain, 2015 JCI Manila President, JCI Senator Steve Baltao, 2018 JCI Manila President, JCI Senator Jopis Kibias, 2016 JCI Senate Manila President, Senator Johnny Fetalvero, JCI Manila Past Presidents, Board of Directors, brothers and sisters, guests, good evening. How are you? Hope you are all doing well despite the surge that is going on. On behalf of the JCI Manila Board of Directors, I would like to thank our Limitless Talk speakers tonight for sharing their time, valuable experience, expertise, and also other interests. There is this adage that goes that wise is a man who learns from his own mistakes, but wiser is a man who learns from others. This Limitless Talks program simply shows the value and strength of being JCI. On our end as JCI Manila, this is not just about learning from mistakes, but more so sharing it. Furthermore, we get to learn and share from one another as brothers, sisters, and as JCI, and even better so, we get to learn and share what we can to others. Imagine alone the richness of knowledge and wisdom among JCI Manila, among JCI community, that we all can develop and even grow from. There is no limit. Let me also further say that our greatest legacy is not the programs and projects we produce, but rather the quality of leaders that we have made, and imagine the social good and relevance they have made to our country and even to the world. JCI Manila, we are the University of Leaders, and as we near into our Diamond Jubilee, let me say that that is our greatest legacy. I believe this will be the first leg of the Limitless talks. I would like to congratulate the Limitless team as well for this great and innovative program. Congratulations, Clarence, and we look forward to the following Limitless talks episodes. Thank you again very much, brothers, sisters, guests, for attending tonight. We hope that we have become of value to you. Let us all continue to lead as one, and may God bless you, and please all be safe.
Thank you, everyone. My apologies for the glitch. It was a
Our ACI Philippines National Executive Vice
video. But again, I'd like to thank everyone for going tonight. Also, special thanks to our past director, Ramon King, for being our evaluator. And again, to all the speakers and for everyone who attended. Thank you very much. May God bless you and be safe. And we hope to see you in the next legs of the Limitless Talks.
Thank you, Press Rich.
Thank you, Press Rich.
So for now, maybe just invite everybody to for a quick photo op, no? And then after this one, we'll also invite our 5 speakers for today to have their cameras on and for the audience to feel free to interact with them and ask any questions that they have, especially if you're interested in their hobbies and want to take part of whatever they're doing. So yeah, please, cameras on, everybody. Then let's take a quick photo. Katie, please get ready.
All right.
We'll be taking 3 photos. Our first photo will be our 2 thumbs up. Then the second photo will be our lead as one, and the final photo will be of our regular photo lang. So let's just give a few more seconds for everybody on their cameras. Right. So I think, yeah, have
All right.
ready.
All right, Com. I'll be taking the photo. So let's do the thumbs up sign. All right. For the first, we have 4 pages, so we request your patience. 1, 2, 3. That's for the first one. All right. This is for the second page. 1, 2, 3. Got it. And for the third page, 1, 2, 3. And for the last page, 1, 2, 3. For the second photo, please. For the lead us one sign. 1, 2, 3. All right, I got the first one. For the next page, 1, 2, 3. For the third page, 1, 2, 3. And for the last page, 1, 2, 3. All right, so we'll do the last pose, which is a normal pose. For the 1, 2, 3. For the next page, for the second page, 1, 2, 3. Third page, 1, 2, 3. And for the last page, 1, 2, 3. All right, Clarence, back to you. I already got the photos.
Easy, and really thank you everyone for attending the first leg of Limitless Talks. There will be a whole lot more. Expect that we'll be making an announcement next month. And if you're interested to be part of this program, and it doesn't have to be from JCI Manila. We're also inviting our sisters from other chapters or brothers from other chapters. Feel free to reach out to the Limitless team, and we'll find a slot for you. And we're looking forward to be working with everybody. So thank you for attending, and the floor is now open to questions to any of our speakers. You may feel free to unmute your microphone, but please raise your hand first so that we may be able to acknowledge you and we can do this uh, properly. Thank you again, and good night, everybody. At least for me. Bye bye.
Thank you, Com Clarence. Now, again, if you have questions to any of our speakers, addressed to any of our speakers, please raise your hand virtually to be acknowledged. We had five amazing topics tonight. Anything that you'd like to ask while we still have them on board?
VP has a question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I guess this is for the benefit of everyone else who might be curious. How many more legs are we expecting? Just so the people who might be interested in speaking or becoming a trainer, at least they could share what they're dealing with if they actually have to join. Like, how many slots are we filling up? So, compliance.
Sabi ko, question for the speaker, hindi question for the But I'll let you in on a secret. Medyo bubugbugin ko sarili ko this year. We're doing 15 legs of Limitless Talks. So 75 speakers for this year. So every other month is opened for non-JCI Manila. So every month, and I'm sorry, every other session is open to non-JCI Manila. So yeah, 15 legs until December 2021, and then I think we can shoot through 2022. Just I'm personally overwhelmed with the response today. Eto sisingit ko na lang kanina. I don't know, actually the previous days I was telling Direct AP and the Limitless team, Direct 30 lang masaya na ako. Tapos medyo umangat yung pangarap. Sabi ko 50 lang, sobrang saya ko na. But earlier we were hitting 100, and people were queuing just to get into the room, and that's a really overwhelming response, and I really thank you for supporting this project. And we're already talking in the group how to manage the volume of people coming in. So yeah, I have a question, VP Sese, for one of our speakers.
Yes, go ahead, Com.
Harold, umiiyak ka ba kanina?
Hindi. Hindi po. It's just every time I watch a race, I can feel like how the marshals are going through that problem. Being a marshal myself, so I feel for the guys. I guess that's it. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it.
Thank you for taking on such a great responsibility. Pero from what I see, you were having so much fun while being at the F1 racing and being part of the team. Sabi nga ni Com Clarence, baka gusto daw kitang paiyakin. Pero feeling ko you were getting quite emotional with your presentation, and it just shows your passion for your talk. Thank you very much, Com Harold.
VP Sese, there's a question from Direct RK. You might want to read it from the chat.
Yes, I am looking at it now, and sorry, I'm going with yes. Com Harold, ikaw lang ba talaga mag-isa pag lumilipad ka sa paibang bansa as race marshal? O yan.
Wonderful question, EDRK.
What an amazing question.
I'll let you in on a secret. As a race marshal, we get a pair of tickets for the weekend for free, which we can give to anyone for them to enjoy the race. because we put in the hard work. No? Yeah, so basically anyone who's in the area basically can watch the race with me. Though I would be separate, totally separate, because I'll be on duty. But at least they would get to enjoy what we put the hard work for. Nasagot ba, direct?
Dapat pala na-mention mo yun earlier while he was still deciding who to award the best speaker. Just kidding. Thank you very much, Call. We have another question from EVP JR Francisco. For the 5 speakers, what pizza flavor are you? Oh, look. Sounds like a beauty pageant question, but a very interesting one. Thank you, EVP JR. Oh, for the 5 speakers, again, what pizza flavor are you?
Nag-iisip pa ata yung iba.
They're still thinking of the toppings.
How about Sonjay? Sonjay.
Yes, Kong. Well, I love pizza, so hindi ko mapili. Pero I'd stick with the Hawaiian.
Why?
Kasi, well, I'm a huge fan of pineapple over pizza. But for me kasi parang yun ang pinaka-relatable na na pizza for most people. I believe so. So I'd like to be that kind of person, to be relatable. And I'll work for it. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate number 1. Thank you pala, our speaker. And how about the rest? What pizza flavors are you? We still have 4 flavors that we are looking forward to.
EVP, ang hirap naman ng tanong mo.
Ay nako, sino kaya ang nag-open ng pizza flavorings na yan, Sen?
Buti na lang gusto ko yung bigote mo.
Ikaw, Sen,
Siguro
what
mauna
pizza
na
flavor
ako.
are you? Sige, Harold, how about you? What pizza flavor are you?
Mauna na ako, baka maunahan pa ako sa flavor. So I'm a Shakey's fan, so a Shakey special. A little bit of everything, but in the end, special nonetheless.
Wow. Thank you very much, Harold. Wow. A little bit of everything, but very special at the end of the day. Ooh, that's very good to know.
Forgot to recognize, of course, no other than my favorite sponsor, Press LA. Hi, Press. You're here pala.
Hello, Press LA. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Ikaw, Press LA, meron ka bang are you a particular pizza flavor? How about you, Clarence? What pizza flavor are you?
Ano ako eh. Simple guy lang ako. Ano ako, white pizza. No, ano yun?
White pizza.
Walang arte. As is lang, you know. Reeves, may question dito sa comments. It's for you. Galing kay
Yes.
Vince Rodriguez. Question for VP.
Yes.
May we invite you to host one of our Unbreakable Tuesday sessions with DTI and JCI Manila?
Wow!
Nakaiya.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Limitless team, for opening this opportunity. And yes, Vince, I'll be glad to host one of your Unbreakable Tuesday sessions. Let's talk about it after this event. I'd love to. It will be my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I guess that ends tonight, no? For everybody. Again, thank you everyone for attending, and hope to see you next month.
Thank you, everybody. And once again,
Pwede
this
magtanong?
is Limitless. Sorry, yes, go ahead.
Harold, may nakikilala ka ba? Kung wala kang kasama pumunta, may nakikilala ka ba pagdating mo sa lugar?
You haven't seen my slides, no? It was part of the slides actually. The part of enjoying the moment and having fun. You get to meet a lot of people. Lots of
Yeah.
Parang plotline
Singaporeans
lang ng
actually.
movie. Parang plotline ng movie, com. Again, thank you, everybody. This is, once again, Limitless Talks from JCI Manila, and we hope to see you in the next season. Have a good night. Thank
Congrats,
you.
Clarence. Good night.
Congratulations, Tom
Thank you,
Clarence.
brother.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
Congratulations.
VP Dennis, for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, Tom
Stay safe.
Clarence.
Congratulations,
Press Rich, thank
brothers.
you. Press Rich, good night. Good
Thank
night.
you, SG Jasper. Great talk.